What's up, guys? It's Underworld Times with another story. A 51-year-old captain of an international bulk shipping carrier has been charged for his alleged role in the plot to import 320 kilograms of cocaine into Australia via regional Western Australia. The Montenegrin national is expected to face South Headland courts after he was arrested on the cargo vessel Interlink Veracity and later charged with importing a commercial quantity of border-controlled drugs. The AFP arrested the man after a forensic examination of his mobile device, which allegedly uncovered messages relating to the drug importation. Earlier in the month, a 49-year-old New South Wales man and a 37-year-old German national with suspected links to organised crime were arrested in Port Hedland in the Pilbara and charged by the AFP for the same importation. The older man was arrested in a camper van where investigators allegedly found 320 individual blocks, each weighing about 1 kilogram. The blocks were made up of 8 packages wrapped in plastic. Police will allege the 37-year-old German national flew into Australia earlier in the month to help retrieve the drugs. He allegedly met a 49-year-old New South Wales man in Port Hedland, and the pair travelled to Karratha, about 240 kilometres away, where they hired a 6.5 metre boat. They drove it to Port Hedland before later launching it from a local boat ramp and heading about 28 kilometres out to sea. Police suspect the pair used the runabout to collect the cocaine from the ocean off the Pilbara mining town. The men's boat was seen idling close to an international bulk shipping carrier, Interlink Veracity, while offshore, which raised suspicions that the vessel was used to import drugs into Western Australian waters from overseas. The two men have each been charged with importing a commercial quantity of a border-controlled drug, namely cocaine. The maximum penalty for this offence is life imprisonment, and failing to comply with an order issued under Section 31A of the Crimes Act 1914. The maximum penalty for this offence is 10 years imprisonment. The operation involved the AFP, Western Australian Police Force, Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission and Australian Border Force. The bulk shipping carrier was boarded by the WAPF Tactical Response Group and then searched by the ABF, AFP and WAPF officers. As a result of forensic examination of a mobile device seized from the captain, which allegedly uncovered messages relating to the drug importation, the 51-year-old captain was arrested. The 51-year-old man has been charged with importing a commercial quantity of a border-controlled drug, namely cocaine. The offence carries a maximum penalty of life imprisonment. Police will allege that the 51-year-old captain smuggled the cocaine onto the cargo vessel Interlink Veracity at an overseas port. He allegedly waited until the vessel was anchored in Australian waters about 28 kilometres off the Port Hedland and dropped the packages into the ocean for retrieval. The two other men charged, the German national and the New South Wales man, allegedly used a small boat to pick up the drugs from the water that evening. All three have been remanded in custody. AFP Acting Assistant Commissioner John Tanti said the AFP and its partners had warned that the seizure of the drugs and initial arrests were just the start of the investigation, and they would be relentless in pursuing anyone involved in the venture. Trusted insiders are one of the highest threats to integrity of Australia's cargo supply chains, Acting Assistant Commissioner Tanti said. Transnational organised crime syndicates rely on people who are willing to abuse the access and influence they have through their employment to help bring in illicit drugs into Australia, as the accused is alleged to have done in this case. The AFP is also working with international partners to target these organised crime syndicates offshore and ensure they cannot profit at the expense of Australian communities. WA Police Force Deputy Commissioner Colonel Blanche said the overnight arrest further demonstrated that people involved in the alleged importation of illicit drugs would be actively pursued. It is our clear objective to systematically pull apart the syndicates that are responsible for the trafficking of these deadly illicit drugs to Western Australia, WA Police Force Deputy Commissioner Blanche said. Our message to those who consider becoming involved in drug trafficking operations is simple: don't. We will pursue you regardless of your role or your location in the world. ABF Acting Commander West Shawn Sr. said the agency maintained a strong presence along the Western Australian coast, and this third arrest in this operation was another illustration of the close cooperation with law enforcement partners. We will continue to actively pursue all individuals that were involved in this attempted importation, Acting Commander Sr. said.